Hello there. So we'll just start with our discussion on pointers in lecture number 5 between relationship in pointers and constants. We know that if I have to declare a constant a equal to 10, my a becomes non-modifiable because it suddenly becomes a read-only location. Isn't it? So if you see, it just says that it is a read-only location. Now, if at all I take a pointer and try to refer to a constant, let me call it as APTR equal to and of a. Now, this actually gives me I have to dereference it. Okay, so let us see what exactly happens there. So when I do this, I actually get a warning. Okay, so this error, since we must be incrementing the value of a pointer which we saw, so we will value of a constant. So let us clearly understand that warning. So this warning says that it's enabled by default. So sometimes it may so happen that we would like to, because it is a warning, we ignore the warning, and let me reinitialize that to say 100. So when I do that, it probably gives a warning, and we think that we can suppress this warning. So this gives us no error because we have suppressed the warning. Now if I do the a dot out, I get a segmentation fault because we ignored the warning. It allowed probably to look at through the local scope. I am trying to access something that is there in the global constant. At the same time, it is a constant, so I am trying to modify it, which is not possible. Okay, so let me just go back to the warning and clearly look at the warning, why that warning is so. So if I just to the a dot c, it says initialization discards constant qualifier. So maybe it looks like this declaration is like a problem wherein it is not homogeneous. So what I will do is, let me qualify this as a constant. The syntax is little bit misleading. It says that int star is a constant, which means it's a constant pointer. No, it is a pointer to a constant. Right, so this is a constant to a pointer to a constant. This is also a constant. So assigning a pointer to a constant should not give me any warning, is our understanding. So see, the warning is not there. But even now, that doesn't, right? If I go back and try and modify this value, if I try and modify the value of APTR, just because there is no warning, that doesn't mean that it allows me to compile, because I am now, it knows that star APTR is only a read-only location. Is it because of a constant, or is it because of the property of a pointer to a constant? Let us see. Now suppose if I remove this constant, right, and try and look at, now this is my APTR, I have dereferenced APTR. So when I do this, now I am referring to a constant. Pointer to a constant is referring to a variable, it is not a constant. So let us see, do we get any warning for this? Okay. So when I do that, right, it still gives me a error. Okay, because I have now referring to a variable, because if you look at the address where it is referring to is the address of A, but even if A is a non-constant, it is still treating the non-constant as a constant read-only location. Now that's a little bit confusing, so let me clarify this. For example, I know that this A is not a constant, so I should be able to modify A. Okay, so I should not get any error here because A is not a constant. Correct? Right, A has become 11, but our problem is, why is it making, when I now I am referring, because it's not a constant, I am referring a pointer to a constant. So when I try to do that, even if I know that A is a non-constant variable, it treats that as a constant location, which means that I am protecting A from modifications if I am using this pointer. So it becomes a pointer to a constant. That is the concept. That does not change the property of A, which clearly means that if I put A plus plus here and try and modify, even now I am only using the A pointer to access the location to read, not to modify. But that does not change the property of A, or should not change the property of A. So when I do this, my A is 10 and A is 11. I can change the value of A through A, but I cannot change the value of A through a pointer to A, even if I have the address of A, because now this APTR has been told to treat anything that it refers to as a constant. Means, for example, if instead of A, suppose if I have K equal to 9000, even then what happens is, if I now have the address of K and I have the address of K, so if I do a K plus plus here, for example, so I am using K to modify K, this should be legal and safe. Okay, but at the same time, even if K is now a variable, I know, if I want to change through APTR, which is referring to K, okay, it does not allow me to do that, because I have been asked by my pointer declaration to refer to any location it is referring to as a read-only location. So this what we mean is termed as pointer to a constant. Hope you understood this. The next in the next videos. Okay, thank you very much.